Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us once again. This is Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. Thank you for joining us for today's live stream. And you can join us here pretty much every Monday at noon. And this week we are back at our Ask the CMI Team live stream. If you joined us last week, we are starting to mix things up and also doing an Ask the CMWorld community, because we have such a great community of experts and influencers. So we want to tap into them and share all their great knowledge and insight with you as well. But this week we're back with the Ask the CMI Team, where we're giving you a behind the scenes look at the people who make all the magic happen here at CMI. And if you don't know what the Content Marketing Institute is, we are the leading training and education organization for all things content marketing. We have two major events. We have our Content Tech Summit, which is in June and all virtual this year, and our signature event, Content Marketing World, which is September 28th through October 1st. And this year we're doing both online and in person. And you can register now for the event. You can find out more at contentmarketingworld.com. So today we are going to be talking about public speaking. Getting in front of an audience can be difficult. I don't know about you, but my hands start to shake and I start to sweat profusely. So it can be hard to make a positive, lasting impression. And there's no single formula for a great presentation. There's no magic pill, even though I wish there was, that can turn you into a great speaker overnight. So today we're going to try to offer you some tips that will hopefully help you get in front of any audience, whether it's the boardroom, the stage, or any more these days in Zoom. So I see some of you are already checking in today. Thank you so much. Be sure to give us a virtual hello. Drop a line, let us know where you're joining us from. We have such a great global audience, so we love to see where everyone is joining us from. So I'll get to our awesome guest in just a moment, but here let's start with the question of the day. What are your public speaking tips? So I think a lot of us have probably been doing a lot more public speaking over Zoom. So it could be, an in-person event. What are your tips versus also on Zoom, which might be a little bit different, but feel free to drop us a line there and let us know and share with us some of your tips. We love it when you guys engage with us. It makes such an even better conversation. So let's get to today's guest. She is no stranger here to our Ask the CMI Team live streams. Andrea Larick is our speaker engagement manager, and she has seen it all. She oversees both our Content Marketing World and Content Tech Summit presentations based on her experiences. She's going to share with us some key principles on how to become a better speaker. So hello, Andrea. How are you today?
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You have seen, I bet you can't even count how many presentations you've watched over the years.
No, quite a few.
Good and bad, correct?
Yep.
So what skills can public speaking help you develop as a marketer?
Well, I think there's skills for everyone. Anybody can benefit from public speaking, but I think for marketers, it's credibility. You are the go-to person with your product, your process. It's a great way to network with people and just get out of your comfort zone. And like you said, whether it's on a stage or on Zoom or in a boardroom, there's really just so many benefits of public speaking.
Yeah, and I know everyone says like the more you do it, the better you get at it. Mm-hmm. So I really should do it, because every time I'm in front of a stage, I just freak out. I can do this now because I don't see the people, but if I'm like live in front of an audience and everyone's staring at me, it's like, oh, I don't know why. It's just a whole different world.
Right.
Some people are sharing their tips. Mohammed says just to be natural, and I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Mo says make eye contact. Gives you a feel for what's resonating with the crowd. Absolutely. So if you're doing terrible and they're yawning or looking around, you for sure know that. Someone suggests my tip is to be a good reader. That's interesting. All right. So how do you fit your big idea into a presentation without overwhelming or boring your audience? Like, I would not want to be a boring speaker. So how should you structure your talk?
Yeah, it's tough. We give speakers some suggestions as they start building their presentations. One of the biggest ones is skipping your first 10 slides. A lot of people like to start with research or where the industry is headed, which is great, except if you're at Content Marketing World and you attend 30 presentations and everyone's giving their view about the industry, you're overwhelmed with those thoughts instead of the content. And so we just suggest diving into the meat. Start with what's worked for you, what hasn't. The things that don't work for you or the failures you've had, I think are great takeaways for people. Also, our audiences really like to hear about the how-tos, things that they can implement when they go back to work. So just start with those. And yeah, read the audience. If they're excited about that, keep going.
Yeah, Rush says confidence matters for sure. I think that I always, like I said, I shake my hands and I think people see that and like then the confidence that I don't look like I'm a confident speaker, maybe not know what I'm talking about. So that's something for sure that I have to work on. But Mohammed also says engage with the audience in whatever ways you can. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Which is hard to do in the virtual world for sure.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for using slides in your presentation? Do all talks require them?
This is a tricky and touchy conversation for sure. I don't think that slides are needed for every presentation. I know some speakers tell you don't use them at all. I think in the in-person world, it's helpful because you can reference slides. The audience likes to take pictures of your slides just to reference them later. I say less is more. Use big font, bigger than you think is even required. Less words, more pictures. If you see a slide with a paragraph, nobody's going to read that. Half the audience can't even see it. So, it's tricky. I think in person, for sure, they're helpful. In the virtual worlds, there's a lot of software that's out there where you could add little images or words to your video that makes everything look a little bit more polished and produced. But I don't know if a full slide is needed.
Mm-hmm. Lisa does say she likes to take pictures of slides. And I agree, but I think it's got to be, like you said, like a major point or something.
Yeah.
And most speakers share their presentations, right?
Right.
So you can always go back and look at them as well.
Yeah.
So how can you develop a stage presence that lets you stand out from a crowd? I mean, we have some good, really good speakers that are good at this at some of our events. So how can you make the most of your individual style to engage and empower the audience?
Well, it's ironic that I'm the one answering this because I'm more a behind the stage person. So, I'll give it my best just from the presentations that I've seen. But like you said, I mean, we have so many great speakers at our events. And I know other speakers watch them to try to figure out, like, what is it that is so engaging about them? And I think it's good to figure that out and try to work in whatever you see that they're doing that is so powerful. But I think first and foremost, just be yourself. You can't mimic someone on stage for half an hour. It's too hard. So be yourself. And the nerves, they happen to everybody. We've seen some of the biggest and best speakers running behind the stage just to work out their nerves or doing jumping jacks. So it happens to everyone. And I think really just practice is key. Just practice and practice. And I don't know if you necessarily have to memorize your presentation because then it's too rehearsed. But if you know your content, it'll come off as being confident and people will see that.
Yeah, that's what Chris says. Practice your presentation. but try not to read your slides. I think
Right.
that's important too. They should complement each other. It shouldn't be like everything I'm saying is on this slide. They for sure should complement each other.
Right.
So we're talking with Andrea Larick, our speaker engagement manager here at CMI, we're talking about public speaking. So feel free to jump in if you have any public speaking tips as well. Andrea has viewed a lot of presentations, so she can give that perspective. But if you've been on the stage, for sure, feel free to share some of your tips. Okay, so what are some of the best ways and resources to learn about building presentation skills and public speaking, which I need to apparently look at?
Well, I use Google for everything. I don't know how I got through college without it. So you can easily just Google best presentation skills and you will get so many. But we also have so many speakers at Content Marketing World and Content Tech that provide free resources for everyone. So last year when our events went virtual, one of our keynote speakers, Ailey Judge, put together a video for the speakers, just how to record your video, best lighting tips, best equipment, or, low cost equipment that really would just make things so much better. So that's a great resource because I'm not sure we're quite ready in 2021 to move away from this digital world. So that's accessible for anyone. And I think you posted it, so everyone can have access.
And it was really great. Like it wasn't it wasn't like advanced or anything, because I'm sure over the last year, everyone's had to scramble and try to be professional on camera person over Zoom or digital platforms. So it's really it's a really easy tutorial and some great tips on there for sure.
Yeah. And then Andrew Davis, I mean, everyone wants to take his advice because he's always amazing. And he just wrote an ebook that's free to anyone who wants it. And it's mostly for the virtual world, but there are definitely nuggets you can take for anything, even, like you said, Zoom or the boardroom. I mean, he just gives great tips and, that's a free resource. I know Tamsin Webster, she's one of our speakers. She actually coaches other speakers.
Yeah, she's great.
To present better. So there are a million resources out there. Feel free to reach out to me if you are looking for some, but they're everywhere. And I'm sure other events or other professionals offer these resources for free as well.
I also say just kind of like watch some that you really enjoy. Like what about it made you really enjoy that presentation? And try to go from there. Like, what can I do to kind of, replicate what that person did? Andrew Davis is sort of like way above everybody. He put a lot of hard work into his and creativity and thought into his presentation. So he's really good. Not all of us can do that, but you could take some elements from what his presentations are, and he's fantastic. So I would just watch some of the ones that you really enjoy and kind of go from there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always like presentations where the speaker tells something personal about themselves or a story that sucks you in because content is content, but if you can create like a story in the 30 minutes that you have my attention, I'll be more likely to listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Monina posted some of our links for us. Thanks, Mo, in the comments. So thank you, Andrea, for joining us today. We will be back here next Monday at noon as well. And you can always find us here Monday at noon. So thank you to all of you who have joined us today and offered your comments and your tips. Feel free to continue the discussion, even though the live stream is over, but we will see you next week. Thanks so much, Andrea.
Great. Thank you. Bye, everybody.